So if we come over here to index.html, this is what it looks like, which is really quite impressive, all things considered. I mean, it's not perfect. You can see the labels through the sun there, but you are able to zoom in and zoom out. So that's a really nice feature. We can also pause it if we want to pause the rotation of the moons and the planets, that sort of stuff. We can do that. The satellite. So we've got the International Space Station there, and it's got some of the asteroids and satellites surrounding the Earth. So if I want to, let's say, zoom in on Mars or something, we can see satellites orbiting Mars. And this is coming from real-time data. I'm quite impressed by what I've found so far in Grok 4.5. This is their smartest model built for coding, agentic task, and knowledge work. And you can read through the article over here and take a look at the benchmarks. It's actually stacking up really, really well against Fable 5 and GPT 5.5. 5.6 is not listed on this graph, but we can take a look at some of the benchmarks for Grok 4.5. On Deep SWE 1.1, it's currently ranking up right above GLM 5.2 and below Opus 4.8. In SWE Marathon, it's outranking Opus 4.8 as well as Fable 5, which is quite surprising. Terminal Bench 2.1, it's getting close to beating Fable 5 Max and GPT 5.5 on extra high mode. And we can see the pricing over here as well. So Grok 4.5 is delivered at an incredibly competitive cost compared to other leading models. It's priced at $2 per million input tokens and $6 per million output tokens. So that's very cost effective compared to some of the other models. The model also achieves roughly 2x the token efficiency of comparable models, solving tasks in under half the number of steps. It says overall, Grok 4.5 delivers the highest intelligence per unit of time and cost. This is the first time that I've tried out Grok. I've just gone ahead and installed it. You can see it's running in the terminal over here. And what we're doing is we're building this satellite app, which can be built with this simple prompt right here. And I just went ahead and installed Grok for the first time on my computer. It just has a command line interface for now that you install with this one-line curl command, which I've already gone ahead and done over here. And then it installed Grok. And overall, I like the interface of this. It looks quite similar to like Kilo Code or Open Code in many ways. It's quite a nice terminal design, and we can easily scroll through here as well. So that's kind of a nice feature. And I haven't really played around with what it can do in terms of backslash commands, but it looks like I've got a lot of my skills built in directly over here as well. So I just went ahead and updated all of those so I can use my skills inside Grok. And yeah, I just want to see what it can do with this solar system app that we're building. I want to add the satellites and asteroids from real-time data. So it'll be pretty cool if it's actually able to do this. And we're now building this out. You can see it's creating the index.html file over here, and it's running on my local host port 8765. And now I've gone ahead and told it to add satellites and asteroids in space from real-time data. So it's just going ahead and probing NASA, Celestrak, JPL. You can see it's getting all of the data from over here, and it should be able to add in these satellites. And yeah, it's pretty nice. We can also add on star boost as well. We can remove the moons. We can turn off orbits, remove the labels as well. And this is all in a single index.html file. You can also change the camera focus. So if I want to just focus on the Earth here, we can go ahead and do that. And yeah, so this is looking really, really good. I'm quite impressed by what I've found so far in Grok 4.5. And keep in mind, this is my first time playing around with Grok. I've never used it once as far as I can remember. So I just want to see what it's capable of and kind of show you what it can do in this tutorial. We can continue reading through this article over here, and you can see Grok 4.5 uses 4.5 times fewer tokens compared to something like Opus 4.8. So it's very token efficient, and it excels at office work. It's now the default model in Grok build. And tell me some of the different things that it can do. We can also see it has a voice API built in over here as well for real-time conversation, speech to text, and text to speech. It's got something called the Imagine API to turn ideas into reality with image and video generation. That's something I'd be interested in playing around with. And we've got some of the code over here for like Python, JavaScript, just simple examples to run on both of these. If you want to create videos, it could do that. Images, voice, text, code. everything. It's like it now has the live catalog data wired into the sim. So all we have to do is open up localhost. So I'm just gonna paste that in over here. And this is what it's looking like now. So looks pretty good, basically the same as it did before, but it looks like it's now pulling in that asteroid and satellite data from over here. So we should see that reflected in the graphical display, but I'm not actually seeing the satellites or the asteroids. I can go ahead and refresh that again, and we can zoom in on Earth. Oh wow, look at that. So as you can see, it is a bit glitchy. So if I want to, let's say, zoom in on Mars or something, we can see satellites orbiting Mars. So that's kind of cool. It doesn't have any labels for them, but that's something else that we could add. And this is coming from real-time data from Celestrack. So we could check out Celestrack over here. I've never heard of this before, but I guess it allows you to get access to a lot of this real-time data from space. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, this is looking quite good. I would want to refine the graphics a little bit more, but again, if we zoom in on Jupiter, we can see the moon's orbiting around really, really quickly. I'm not sure if there's a way to slow that down or anything. Maybe that's just the natural progression of the moons, not entirely sure. We can also turn this off as well. And this is all coming from just a simple example that they provided over here inside the documentation for Grok 4.5. You can also use this for PowerPoints and Excel documents, that sort of stuff. Just a simple prompt right here and it will create the slides for you. And it looks like now, unfortunately, I've hit my free usage limit for the day. So I would need to upgrade to Super Grok. All I have to do is click here to upgrade. And then I think this is like $30 a month or something. So I'd probably just continue using the free plan because I've already got Claude Code and Codex, which are $20 per month each. And I don't know if $30 a month for Super Grok is really going to be worth it, especially since I rarely use Grok. But in this tutorial, I just wanted to kind of make a simple demo. We've created this solar system demo over here. And oh, it looks like we can also slow down the moons as well just by dragging this slider. So that's kind of a nice feature. And yeah, this is definitely a cool model. I look forward to playing with it. I look forward to playing around with this model a bit more over the coming weeks. So stay tuned. Please subscribe to the channel. And if you haven't already, go ahead and join my free school community. It has almost 3,000 members in here now. It's just called AI Income Lab. You can take a look around the classroom for all of the tutorials, courses, and resources, including my AI coaching program. I will see you in the next one. Take care, stay safe. Peace from Thailand. Signing off.